You are listening to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This podcast may contain objectionable language.
Welcome to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This is our take on what's happening in the world. How you doing, Stoney?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. That's about it. Have a good weekend. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, let's see here. First things first. May Day was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
First day of May, and we got to experience the lovely joy of waking up to snow. So the global warming assholes can kiss my ass. Climate change people, I'll go with you. But the global warming folks, F off. May Day. May Day protesters marched up and down streets across the country on Wednesday, calling on lawmakers to provide a path to citizenship for the estimated 11 million immigrants who have entered the country illegally or overstayed their visas. They want a path to citizenship. There is one already in place.
Yes.
Use it.
Take your ass back where you came from and file for a visa, come back legally, and apply for citizenship.
Yeah. You know, just because you're here illegally, you're here illegally. You're called illegals for a reason. They should all be just deported. I saw this, I think this was yesterday. It was the initial story on this. North Korea reportedly sentences detained American to hard labor. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't.
An American detained for nearly 6 months in North Korea has been sentenced to 15 years of labor for crimes against the state. The North State media said Thursday a development that further complicates already strained ties between Pyongyang and Washington. This man, I believe he's 48 years old. He's American of Korean descent.
Uh-huh.
And he ran tours into North Korea. His name is Kenneth B.A.E. So, Bai?
Maybe.
And described by friends as a devout Christian and a tour operator. Let's see. I read somewhere where it said that he confessed to wanting to overthrow the North government and everything else. I got a feeling that confession may have been coerced a little bit.
Yeah, probably was.
I mean, granted, okay, tensions are really friggin' high. Now, let's see, 6 months ago, were tensions high. Tensions have always been weird between the North and South.
Yeah.
But things really didn't start to get stupid until around Christmas. But, I don't know, they're just... I'm not saying he had it coming, because it doesn't... Nothing I've read sounds like he did anything wrong, but, there's just certain places you avoid.
Yeah. Well, he opened his mouth.
I don't know. No, not grumbling. Just I don't know. It's just, there's really nothing there.
Well, it's kind of like America, where they have that Constitution thingy that we might use someday, but until then, you be careful what you say.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see here. Oh, I love this one. This one, I saw the first article for this, and apparently everything has come to fruition. Female deserter gets jail and bad conduct discharge.
Yay.
Yes, a female soldier in the U.S. Army pled guilty Monday on 2 counts of desertion after fleeing to Canada to avoid a second tour of duty in the Iraq War. PFC Kimberly Rivera was sentenced to 10 months in prison and a bad conduct discharge after entering her plea at a court-martial.
10 months?
Yeah, 10 months.
They were talking 5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, at least she's getting something.
Yeah, well, she's getting the bad conduct and pretty much nationwide publicity, so she's going to be a pariah. So good for her.
Yeah.
Later in this article, it talks about where Canada had accepted people during the Vietnam War.
Right.
Because of the conscription. And it was easier for them to take those people in. Easier for Canada to take those people in, morally, because of the draft.
Right.
This person, this Kimberly Rivera, she volunteered.
That's right.
So she, in claiming that she didn't know about the conscientious objector status and all of that, it's like, if you're a conscientious objector, why would you even bother volunteering to serve or to work somewhere where you could possibly have to kill somebody?
Right. Right. You don't see, that's one thing that drives me nuts about these kids that are going in today. I joined for the college money. I joined for the job training. I joined to have a career, but I didn't sign up for this. Like, yeah, you did.
Exactly.
What the hell do you think the U.S. military does? Do you think it's just a giant frickin' training university where they pay you to attend and learn?
Yeah,
no.
The military, they kill people and break things. That's their job.
God.
That's what they do. Kill people and break things.
Yes. Yes. Well.
I mean, a lot of good comes out of the military. But, if she was only a PFC, she could only have joined recently. Well, let's see. During a 2-week... Oh, this is back in 2007. Well, this shit was already going on in 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't say, well, I didn't know.
Yeah, when she joined, there was already stuff going on. There's always the possibility that you will be deployed.
Yes.
Any frigging moron knows that. I mean, Nobody wants to go to war. Nobody wants to die on foreign soil. But it's, if this is your path, you take that chance.
That's the bottom line.
Idiots.
Yep. Join the fucking Peace Corps.
All right. It's time for happy news.
Rah, rah, rah.
Rah, rah, rah. Goddamn deserters. All right. Famous veteran. Born Clint Eastwood Jr. in San Francisco on May 31st. Quit scratching your microphone. He was the older of 2 children whose family traveled across Northern California during the Great Depression. He took up competitive swimming and basketball during high school. After graduation, he worked as a lumberjack and a forest fighter in Oregon and a steel worker in Seattle. Drafted into the Army during the war in Korea, Eastwood was sent to Fort Ord in California for basic training. Now, this is where it gets kind of neat. He lucked into a job, that's how it's written, he lucked into a job as a swimming instructor and remained at Fort Ord. He worked nights and weekends as a bouncer at the NCO club.
Huh.
On a trip home to Seattle to visit his parents and girlfriend, Eastwood caught a ride aboard a Navy plane at Moffett Field. On the ride back aboard a Navy torpedo bomber, The plane developed engine trouble and was forced to make a water landing off of San Francisco. Eastwood was forced to swim over a mile through the tide to shore. It was yeah, I can't. Dude, I'd have died. It was while on duty at Fort Ord that Eastwood met fellow soldiers and actors Martin Milner from Route 66, David Jansen from The Fugitive, and Richard Long from The Big Valley. After his discharge in 1953, Eastwood attended LA City College and studied drama under the GI Bill. He landed a $75 a week contract with Universal Studios and played bit parts in Francis the Talking Mule and Revenge of the Creature. International fame followed his spaghetti westerns, Dirty Harry movies, and his Oscars for The Unforgiven. So, big salute to Clint Eastwood.
That's great.
Yeah, I love that. He lucked into a job as a swimming instructor. But see, that is where one of those things where he had a particular skill, a very strong skill, that he was able to parlay into a job that kept his ass out of, going to the war.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, and working as a bouncer at the NCO club, especially back in those days, that's probably where his fighting skills started developing.
Most likely. I don't know. He was a lumberjack and a steel worker and a forest fire.
Yeah.
I gotta give badass points to Clint Eastwood, man. That's
yeah.
All right, that's all I have, and except for weather.
He's a hell of a guy.
Yes, he is.
Well, I have two stories for you today, and you could say that they're on opposite ends of the spectrum here.
Okay.
We'll start off with former Pope Benedict.
Oh, what did he do now?
He has returned to the Vatican after he abdicated, retired, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
He went and did whatever he was going to do for a couple of weeks, and now he is back. He's going to live in a converted convent in Vatican City.
I think that was a political move.
Well,
because
that's kind of part of the story here.
Okay.
He said, let's see, at the time of his abdication, Benedict said that he would not try to influence his successor, saying that he would live out the rest of his days hidden from the world. And another part of it said he wants to live out of sight a life of prayer and study.
Okay. So why is he back?
Because he doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Well, didn't he have like a family farm or something that he went to or whatever? And
I don't know. He's 86 years old. How much is he going to do besides getting away?
Yeah, there is that. Well, as long as he behaves himself and keeps quiet and lets the new pope do what the new pope's doing.
Yeah. So there's that. He's back at Vatican City. Then we'll go to the other end of the spectrum.
Satanists.
New Zealand government says, no, you can't call your baby Lucifer.
Whoa. Okay. I did not previously know about this, but that...
The good news is, for New Zealanders, the good news is, if you're Christian and you're waiting for end times, Lucifer cannot be born in New Zealand. But
well,
there's also no place for Christ or a Messiah either.
Well, see, I've read about countries like that where they have lists of acceptable and unacceptable names, and
yeah,
I've met some people in my day where I kind of wish that we had a list like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. There are some good ones in here. But in New Zealand, apparently, parents have to run their baby names by the government before they're authorized to use that name. And the article sums it up in 4 words. What were they thinking?
No kidding.
In the past 12 years, the agency has turned down not 1, not 2, but 6 sets of parents who wanted to name their child Lucifer. But at the same time, they also rejected Messiah and Christ.
Well, equal time and all that. But again,
Yeah.
Why would you name your kid Christ or Messiah? I mean, how pretentious can you be? And to name your kid Lucifer, what, his nickname's going to be Lucy?
Yeah,
Or,
well, we had one back in the Northeast not that long ago that they named their baby Hitler.
See, those people should be sterilized, and that child should be sent off to, foster care. And
Well, you bring that up. 4 years ago in New Zealand, a 9-year-old girl was taken away from her parents by the state so that they could change her name from Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii.
Oh, I remember that horrible name.
Some of the names that were rejected were, quote, Mafia No Fear, unquote, quote, the number 4, real, for real, unquote, and, quote, anal, quote.
Anal?
End quote.
Why would you... Anal? No, I'm not... I may call my kid a turd, but that's more of a nickname, I don't know.
They also rejected the names asterisk and period, which were just the symbols, not the words. But they did okay the names Violence and Number 16 Bus Shelter.
No. Well, Number 16 Bus Shelter, there's some sentimental value to that name because that's where the child was conceived.
And real quick, I'm gonna go through some of the names that have been rejected in New Zealand since 2001 and how many times they came up. The name Justice, 62 times.
Wait,
the name
no, these were rejected.
These were banned.
Justice was banned.
Yes.
Huh.
Princess, 28. Majesty, 7. J, the letter J, 6 times. Using the backslash between names, 8 times. E, the letter E, the letter V, the letter G are all on the letter M. The letter C, the letter D,
So pretty
et cetera.
Anything from the alphabet, single letters.
And, of course, anal.
Anal.
Good job, New Zealand.
Well, good for them for standing up for the kids. Good Lord. What the hell? Like I said, I really wish we kind of had some kind of board. I mean, I understand everyone wants to be their own special snowflake. But for Christ's sake, man, name your kid something that's not going to get their ass whooped as soon as they step on a friggin' school bus. That'll bring out the friggin' grumbles in me. Number 16 bus stop.
That was approved.
What do you call that kid? Okay, my real name's Michael. Everybody calls me Mike. Number 16 bus stop? Numb? Hey, Numb. What the hell? Freaking idiots.
Your mother was a whore. Well, as a matter of fact,
yes, she was.
My name is Number 16 bus stop. That's where she worked.
Wow. All right, let's go write the weather.
Quickly.
And this weather is this will be. I don't have the words. My English is failing me. This one will be near and dear to quite a few people's hearts. Ansbach, Germany.
Yay!
So let me go ahead and refresh this so I can give you at the moment. So at 12:13 Mountain Time, it is 52 degrees with a light drizzle. And winds are out of the north at 9 miles an hour with humidity at 100%.
Woo!
Let's see. Tonight we're looking at 49 degrees, partly cloudy, 10% chance of rain. Winds north by northeast at 8 miles an hour, humidity at 89%.
Man.
So,
y'all better hit the green goose or the clock tonight.
yeah, because at least they have air conditioning.
Yep.
Dry that friggin' air out. Good Lord. But, yeah. Yep, our old home, Ansbach, Germany.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got.
All right. I'm done.
All right. That was easy. I got stuff to do. So, I will see you soon, Stone. And the rest of you, have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Keep your powder dry.